Should I go with the microphone? Yeah. I'll go with the microphone, absolutely. Then I will do that. First off, my apologies for being late. The pawn shop on the corner is not the building. No, yeah. Exactly. So it's not Walmart, it's not the pawn shop. Where is this place? So thank you. Monica, how much time do we got?
You have as much time as you want.
That's a problem. That is a problem because for those of you that don't know, I'm a professor at ASU. I teach statistics. And my class is 3 hours long. So I could be up here for a long time talking about statistics if you like, probably not. So we'll make sure to keep it short. Well, thank you very much for the chance to be out here, the opportunity to meet you. I'm David Garcia. I'm running for governor, and I am doing it for a couple major reasons. Number one, first and foremost, is my strong commitment to public education in Arizona. Many of you know I ran for state superintendent in 2014, and we lost by 0.5%, just a tiny bit. And I did it because I was done with what was going on with public education in Arizona, and felt like it was important to make sure that somebody stepped up and did something. So we ran in 2014, did a heck of a job, and learned a lot of lessons from that, by the way. One big one we're taking into 2018 is really, this is all about turnout, folks. It's about getting our own folks out to vote is really the big issue. Second, I do believe we have a state right now that is working for a few powerful people and a few powerful and not for the people. You see this all the time with the state legislature. We have folks who get in, they have lobbyists, they take their piece and turn around and leave the rest of the state with the scraps. And that's really not what we should be doing. And it's something that we're going to focus on. Third, we've got to change our economic model in Arizona. We've got to get to the point where we are investing in companies that start here and stay in Arizona instead of really trying to work and bring in big corporations. It doesn't happen that often, and when it does, there's a big tax break associated with it that doesn't help out and invest in the state. And we've got to make sure we continue our commitment to affordable health care for all Arizonans, and we'll maintain that commitment. And so what got me here is really a story that for me is all about being in Arizona. I'm a fourth generation Arizonan from Mesa, on the other side of the valley. I'm a product of Arizona's public schools, and I am an Army veteran. I spent some time in the military as an infantryman. So I don't know if that is. That's basically your standard issue soldier. My job was to take an M16 and walk. And I did it obviously out of a sense of duty, but also because I needed the opportunity myself to help improve myself, and it was very important for that. I went to ASU, where I did much better, and finished at the University of Chicago, where I got a doctorate, came back to Arizona, and I've spent my career in education at the state legislature, working with governing board members and school board members like, well, John, you weren't around when I was up there, were you? But governing board members from all over the state. And for the last 12 years, I've had the real privilege of being a professor at ASU, teaching young people who are excited and interested. And it's been a great gig. It's been a real honor of mine to do that. And like I said, when you at some point you realize that something that is really important to you, like public education is a threat, you got to jump in and do something, and that's the reason I did it. So with that, I'm happy to answer your questions. I know it's probably more interesting for you to have questions answered than to hear me go on and on. Yes?
I have a question. How do you see yourself different from your competitor?
Yeah, good question. So I mentioned turnout, right? That's really the difference. We're not going to win this unless we get a couple 100,000 people who are not engaged right now to get on board. And I learned that in 2014, by the way. 2014 was one of the lowest voter turnouts on record. And it wasn't just bad, it was really bad. And had it just been bad, I would have won, Terry Goddard probably would have won. And the question you need to ask is who can bring in those kinds of turnout. And the path to doing this in Arizona is the electorate needs to get younger and more diverse. That's where our folks are, and that's what we have in our campaign. We had more volunteers in our 14 campaign than any other statewide race. A couple of them on our 18 campaign are here to join me tonight, and the papermen's up front. And so that's the big one. We can talk policy all day long, but if we don't win, it's a moot point. And that's where we're going to put our time and energy. Also, you should know that 21, that we have almost a super majority of our elected Democratic state officials have joined our campaign. We have 21 who have joined our campaign. 3 have endorsed my opponent. And many of them, including all 3 representatives from only 29, by the way, have joined us. And one of the major reasons is because they recognize that with us at the top of the ticket, that's going to be the best opportunity to increase turnout. We also know this, having seen the results of a national poll that was done in June. We came out 2 points ahead of Doug Ducey in that poll. First time anybody to come up ahead of Ducey in that poll. Fred got close, he was never able to cross the line. And in that poll, we found out exactly what we think is the formula, which is folks who generally would sit out a race or would come in with Garcia at the top of the ticket. You got to ask yourself, I'll tell you, what we spend our time and energy on is why don't people vote? And one of the major reasons is because they don't see a contrast between candidates. And so if we're going to do this, we need as much contrast as possible with Doug Ducey, and that's certainly our campaign. Other questions?